What's up everyone? UFC just finished its first ever card in Serbia. Record number of finishes, plus updates on Alex Pereira, Usman Nurmagomedov, and a bunch of new fight bookings. Let's get into it. The card started strong with 4 first-round finishes. Kyle Propolek lost to Matusz Rebecki and is now 0-5 in the UFC. He could be looking at a cut. Bogdan Gnidko submitted Denis Blachowicz in the second round. After the fight, Blachowicz went on social media and said the referee stopped it with no submission and no tap. The fight was great, it was a war. The choke wasn't even in. 10 seconds left in the round, it was 1-1. I started getting my distance, hurting him, wobbling him. I felt him fading. I would have gone to sleep if it was a real submission. To have it taken like that is crazy. Thank you everybody for the support. 7 of the 8 prelims ended in finishes. Main card. Noah Gugon submitted Milos Janicic with a rear naked choke in round 1 and threw his mouthpiece at the booing crowd. Gilbert Urbina TKO'd Vlasto Chepo in the first round. Robert Valentin submitted Dusko Todorovic in the first round. Co-main. Navajo Sterling finished Jan Blachowicz in round 1. Jan was originally supposed to fight Bogdan Guskov, but Guskov stepped in elsewhere and Sterling took the short notice bout. Sterling dropped him and finished with ground strikes. He's now 11-0 and set the modern era record for most first-round finishes on a single UFC card. Main event. Uros medics stopped Daniel Rodriguez in just 30 seconds. Rodriguez had spent 8 months in a Mexican prison, was released in April, and took the fight as soon as he could. Kevin Holland reacted, "Geez, that was fast. I wonder if D-Rod will be healthy enough to run it back for my 30th at Noche." People are calling Medic one of the most dangerous first-minute fighters in the UFC after the sequence. 3-punch combo, knee on the way down, grounded body kick. Most finishes ever on one UFC card. Alex Pereira was in Belgrade for the UFC Q&A. He confirmed he plans to stay at heavyweight and is open to Josh Barnett, Alexander Volkov, or whoever the UFC puts in front of him. He still wants the heavyweight title and said he wants to fight the winner of the expected Aspinall vs. Gain rematch. But he wants another fight before that, preferably in November. I feel like I have more things to do. I think I'm going to win another belt. That's what I want to do. Didn't work out last time, but usually when I get my mind set to something, I'm able to achieve it. He also left the door slightly open to light heavyweight by warning Paulo Costa he could still drop if he wanted to. Barnett has been pushing for the fight. A matchup with the number 2 ranked Volkov would feel more like a title eliminator. The MMA community has been waiting for word on Sean Strickland's return. Last night, he finally posted an update. "Y'all keep asking me when I'm going to fight again. Shoulder is getting solid, need a little longer. As to who I'm fighting, Chimaev keeps running his mouth. Want me to teach you how to cut weight so you can stop for a second? L." That immediately put the middleweight title picture back in the spotlight. Khamzat Chimaev is pushing hard for a rematch. Dricus du Plessis is coming off a win over Kamaru Usman and calling for a title shot. Nassourdine Imavov was already passed over once while waiting for the first Chimaev-Strickland fight and could be forced to wait even longer. Imavov saw Strickland's post and replied, "You'll do what you're told. You won't escape." Chimaev fired back. This coward started talking again. "When you see me again, ask for forgiveness. You're good at that. The most important thing is don't cry like a girl next time." When a fan reminded him that he wrapped the belt around Strickland after their fight, Chimaev said, "This girl cried too much. I felt sorry for her. I gave it away like a guy lets his girlfriend do his laundry." They seemed to make amends after the last fight. Now they're enemies again. Are you still interested in the rematch? Drop your thoughts on what the UFC should do with the middleweight division. Away from the drama, Strickland recently helped save a friend's life. He and some friends were jumping off a cliff in Nevada when one of them started struggling in the water. Strickland realized it wasn't a joke, jumped in, and got him safely back to shore. No one was hurt, but it could have ended very differently. The friend later explained, "It's freezing. I go into shock, realized I couldn't touch the ground. Tried to swim. It's too cold. I gave up and I couldn't breathe. I immediately almost died." Moving on to Conor McGregor. A lot of people are tired of constant updates, including me. But this time the questions are coming from an actual sports medicine doctor, Brian Sutterer. He's been following the injury closely and is surprised by how well Conor is already moving after a claimed full ACL and meniscus tear. Videos of him on the rowing machine, knee extensions, and recent photos show excellent range of motion, equal push-off from both legs, strong quad activation, and almost no swelling. Sutterer said either Conor is superhuman or this recovery is extremely atypical for a standard full-thickness ACL tear this soon after the injury. He believes there is a real injury, but we may not have the full details because the public timeline doesn't fully add up. Darren Till doesn't want to see him return. He said Conor isn't the greatest of all time. He built his fame with his mouth, and that at his age, with the money he's made, he should stick to promoting. Conor himself posted, "Bengali Tiger Balls. See y'alls next year, folks." So a 2027 return still looks most likely. Also worth noting, both Conor and Khabib have reportedly been invited to Cristiano Ronaldo's wedding later this year. If both show up, it will be interesting to see how they interact after all this time. Ian Gary's coach, Diego Lima, believes his fighter can knock out Islam Makhachev at UFC 330. Lima pointed out that people comparing this to the Della Maddalena fight should remember Gary is one of the most complete fighters in the division, strong in boxing, kicking, takedowns, and grappling. He's also one of the biggest welterweights and, for the first time since joining the UFC, has had a full training camp. Lima, I'm not going to pick the round, but I don't believe Islam makes it to the 5th. Before then, Ian is going to land a shot that Makhachev will feel, and once that happens, he'll lose his composure. On Islam, Lima praised how much his style has changed since moving up in weight. At lightweight, he took more risks. Against Della Maddalena, he barely got hit for over 25 minutes. Georges St. Pierre sees it differently. He said the stylistic odds favor Makhachev. Islam has more ways to win and is currently the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Gary has the skills and length, but he needs to keep the fight standing. Who do you pick? Leave your prediction in the comments. New footage dropped of Ilya Topuria grappling with a friend and locking in an armbar. He looks in good spirits. He also shared a close-up photo of his face, showing the small remaining marks from the White House event. Overall, it has healed very nicely. Hopefully we see him back in the octagon soon. Finally, Dana White was asked about the Anthony Smith situation. He's one of those guys that you don't expect to see that happen to, but personal experience, it can happen to anybody. I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough of the details. I've been on the road this whole time, but I just hope that it works out for him and his family and his kids. We do so much stuff for the fighters, not just the ones that are under contract with us, but ones that used to be too. That's everything for today. Check out yesterday's video if you missed it. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow with more MMA news.